Okay, welcome to Online Profiles. I am going to share my screen here. I'm going to stop my video and share my screen. Hopefully you are all seeing the PowerPoint here. To optimize your view at the top, very top of your Zoom window, click on the green little button that says View Options, and I recommend doing the side-by-side view. That'll maximize the slides on the screen versus having everybody's faces up there. If you have any questions or have issues, just let me know. All right, so we are going to focus this morning on your online profiles. Couple of objectives for today as we go through here, just to kind of give you a heads up as to how I've structured this. The first thing that I want to show you is why this is important, why having your profiles updated online on various websites, why it's critical for your business, and then what sites you need to have updated and what should you focus on. There's quite a few of them. Like it or not, your online profiles are all over the place. Probably on some websites you didn't even know existed. We're gonna focus today on the biggies, but there's a lot of good reason why you need to have this firing on all cylinders. And then where do you start and how do you do it? We're going to go into that after we talk about those first two. So let's talk about the why. I'm a numbers person. I love numbers. This data just came out not very long ago from NAR. This is the updated profile of home buyers and sellers. And I want you to pay attention to this top stat. These stats are showing you the first step that buyers took in their home buying process. And the very first thing that they're doing, the majority of the time, 44% of the time, is they're looking online for properties. That's where they start their search. They typically don't start their search by contacting an agent. That's number 2 there at 16%. But they're looking at properties first and foremost. And as we get into this, I'm going to show you why it's important to have your profiles updated, knowing that they're looking at properties first and foremost. Second stat here I want to show you is the actions that they took online as a result of the home search. And we're going to pay attention to this third one down. They found their agent that they used online. Over a third of them, a little bit over a third of them, found their agents online. So if you don't have your online profiles updated on the sites where they're searching, you could be missing out on a huge portion of the buyers, of leads. It goes way beyond just having your profile and picture and bio up on kansascityhomes.com. I know we spend a lot of time focusing on our internal website, but there's a lot of others that buyers are searching on, and there's others that they start with. They usually don't hook into our website until they've reached out to you and you've hooked them into it. So we've got to figure out a way to get your profiles updated on these other websites so you can capture, you know, a third of the buyer pool that's out there that's looking for agents online. This came from Real Trends, and I think it kind of fits in here. You know, we saw from the previous 2 slides that buyers are looking online first. So where are they going? First and foremost, they're going to, and this is when they select agents. So that 34% that are selecting their agents online, they're going to realtor.com, they're going to Zillow, they're Googling, and then they go to Facebook. So they're stalking you in multiple places. Again, not just our local in-house websites or the national BHGRE website. Those are going to come up when you're Googled, but a lot of consumers are going to start with these big 2, realtor.com and Zillow. Oh, I don't know what just happened there. My mouse likes to go crazy. So 42% of buyers will use an agent that they've been referred to by either a family, neighbor, you know, a friend. But the number one thing that they're doing when they get your name is Googling you. And when they Google you, I want you to know what websites are going to come up. So you need to put this on your to-do list, your homework. And if we have time, which we should, I'm going to give you some time to go through this on your own while I'm still online and helping you. But I want you to Google yourself, and I want you to see what are the top results that appear, and start clicking on those. And I want you to make sure that your profiles match your image. Are all of your profiles updated? Is there correct information? I've clicked on, I had, and I don't know if they're on this call or not, but I'm going to call them out. I'm going to pick on them. I won't use them by name, but I had an agent when I was over at the Blue Valley office, and she sent an email one day because she had put on a new listing, and her sellers went and Googled their address, and they clicked on Zillow, their house on Zillow. And she showed up as a listing agent, and it still showed that she was with Prudential. And this was 2.5 years ago when we'd been with Better Homes and Gardens for several years. But she'd never gone online and updated her Zillow profile. So she didn't have a picture. It showed she was with a company that no longer existed. And she was really frustrated and didn't realize that she has to go on and update these profiles. These are not things that happen automatically. There are things with some of these websites that will feed in for you automatically. Zillow is not one of them. You really need to go in there and make sure that your profile is up to date. You've got to claim your sales. We're going to get into the weeds with that here in just a little bit, but put on your to-do list to Google yourself, click on the top 6-7 results, and make sure that each of these portray the correct image and the image that you want buyers and potential clients to see when they start clicking on these. So the top search results that are likely going to appear when you Google yourself, we've got Kansas City homes. BHGRE is going to be towards the top of the list. We like to call it ZAP. I'm going to call it BHGRE because that's what the consumers and that's what the public calls it. They have no idea what ZAP is. ZAP is just our back end, and that's through National BHG. Realtor.com, Real Satisfied. Believe it or not, you have a profile on Real Satisfied. Zillow, and then your social media profiles. Like a LinkedIn will typically come up, Facebook, whether it's a personal or business page. We are not going to spend any time today focused on the social media sites. We're really going to focus on the real estate consumer sites for today. There's another reason that you need to have your profiles updated, and I want to pop out of these slides real quick and just show you a live example of something, and I did get his permission to pick on him today. But this is, if you've not seen this before, this is a tool that is offered to us. Let me see if I can go into full screen here. Okay, there we go. This is a tool that's offered to us through BHGRE. You can access it through the greenhouse. It's under Agent, I think it's Agent Tools over on the left-hand side. If you go to listing distribution, you can click on List Track. This is the List Track platform. It will pull up whatever office you're in. It's going to pull up your office stats, and then you can look at your own stats for your own listings. But it's interesting to get in here and see, okay, our listings get syndicated and fed out to all of these websites. Who's actually clicking on them? What's the traffic like on these? And so this is for, right now it's pulling for me just the Blue Valley office. And this is showing me in the last month up here, the #1 website that our listings in the Blue Valley office were viewed on is Zillow. So right there we had 50,695 views on Zillow for our listings. Second was MLS, Trulia, the broker and other agent websites. I'm going to click on that just to show you really quick. This is kansascityhomes.com right up here. That's who manages our website, Real Estate Webmasters, in case you didn't know that. But then there's a bunch of other websites that you can really get a sense as to where the buyers are seeing our listings. Why this is important for today. So I'm going to come down here. And these are, in the Blue Valley office, these are the listings that had the most views online in the last month. We're going to click on this one right here. This one had just under 2,500. So let's click on this, and it's going to pull up the listing details. This is where you can get some good info, good intel on your own listings. So in the last month on Zillow, this listing had 1,664 buyer views. Public views. The listing agent on this was Chad Chadwick. So I want you to show you real quick. See if I can get out of here. What this looks like on Zillow. So here's the here's this listing on Zillow, and here's Chad as the listing agent. No picture. I'm going to click over to Chad's profile. Here's Chad's profile on Zillow. Chad's never gone in and updated Zillow. Chad has missed out on an opportunity with 664 people to market himself and to possibly sell this to an unrepresented buyer, or even maybe pick up a buyer, because he has no profile on Zillow. No contact information. It looks like he's done no business, and Chad's done plenty of business. I'll show you in just a second, but it looks like he's done no business on Zillow and in the last 12 months. He does have a cell phone number on here, but that's it. That's his profile on Zillow. So I want you to think about the missed opportunities that he could have had just in the past month. Let's click over and look at his Realtor.com profile. Realtor.com, he does not have any reviews. He's not feeding any of his Real Satisfied. I know he uses Real Satisfied. Those aren't being fed into Realtor.com. But it does show here that he has 76 listings. And this is the past 24 months that he has had 76 listings. He has 8 currently for sale, and he has sold 68 houses. So Chad's obviously, you know, he does quite a bit of business. Zillow, it looks like he does none. And that's because on Zillow, our listings feed to Zillow. But Mary, I'll answer your question in just a second. I just saw it pop up. Our listings feed to Zillow, but once you close on a property, whether you represent the seller or buyer, you've got to go in and claim that sale. It doesn't happen automatically. So if you're not going in and claiming those after you close on a property, you're not going to have any sales on Zillow either. Some of your listings will update automatically, but not all of them. So you really need to put on your checklist, after you close on properties, you need to go on to Zillow and claim your sales. And I'm going to show you, we're going to get into the Zillow platform. I'm going to show you how and where to do that. Mary asked a question in the chat. Real Satisfied does feed to Realtor.com. That doesn't happen automatically though. You've got to go into Real Satisfied and make sure that that you have that turned on. And you can do that automatically, or you can do it individually as you're approving testimonials that come through on Real Satisfied. But you've got to have that turned on. Otherwise, you won't have any ratings. Let me go back here to my, I'm going to get rid of my bar down there. All right, let's go back into here for just a second. So what questions, comments do you have so far? The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into some of these platforms, and I want to just give you a quick tour of how you get into these, what the right way, there's some tricks to logging in to both Zillow and Realtor.com to make sure that you tie in your professional status as a real estate industry professional. So I want to make sure that I walk you through that. But what questions do you have so far? Mary asked one. You can put in your for sale by owners in Zillow. When we get in there, I'll show you how you input any sales that you've had, how you claim sales in Zillow, and you can put in for sale by owners. Any other questions? Sales are, I don't think, Emily asked, are sales claimed once a client writes a review? I don't believe that they are, but I'm not positive on that. I don't think so. You don't have to pay to claim your sales on Zillow. That is, you do not have to pay to do that. Josh asked a question about claiming sales on Zillow if that short circuits MLS, having or keeping data. I think I understand what you're trying to ask there, Josh, and no, it doesn't conflict. MLS doesn't feed to, they don't give Zillow a data feed. That data feed is decided upon at the broker level. And so MLS is not feeding. If in our brokerage, Better Homes and Gardens, we feed to Zillow. one of the fields that gets fed to Zillow is who the listing agent is. So you will always, even paid or non-paid, you know, if you're not a premier agent on Zillow, you'll still be get credit as the listing agent on Zillow. What is not fed from MLS is the sale information. So they do not get the sold price. You have the option to input that when you do your sale, when you input your past sales in Zillow. And I'll show you where that is in just a minute. But it's not going to mess up the MLS data or the MLS information. I hope that I answered your question. If not, Josh, feel free to unmute yourself, and I'm happy to answer that or explain further if I wasn't real clear there. Emily, there is a way to do it. Update your listings. You can upload a spreadsheet to Zillow, and you claim all your past sales pretty easily. If you're not a premier agent, that it takes a while for them to do that, but you can upload everything to them in a spreadsheet and they'll do it for you. Okay, Josh, glad that answered your question. Okay, so before we jump in to, these are the sites that I want to focus on today and get into and show you how to update. I usually start in this class with Zillow and Realtor.com because those are probably the two that you're less familiar with. We offer a lot of classes on, you know, the KansasCityHomes.com backend. I know that's been, you know, drilled into you for the past year and a half quite a bit. So I typically don't spend a ton of time on that platform in this class, but I can. And then Zap, the BHGRE site, is the other one, and Real Satisfied is pretty simple. So I'm going to throw a poll up here and have you all decide where you want me to start. So let me get that launched here. Okay, if you all will answer that, what platform do you want me to start in? Mary's emphatic on Zillow. It was in all caps in the chat. That looks like where we're going first here is on Zillow. So that one is probably the most complicated. I wouldn't say it's complicated, but that one is typically where I spend the most of the time in this class showing you all how to update. What I would like to do is go into there and then give you a couple minutes to kind of work through getting, at least logging in there and finding where you update your profile while I'm here and while we're in here. That way you can come back and ask questions if you're having problems. I can share my screen and show you how to get somewhere. But first I want to walk you through where, how you get logged in correctly to Zillow. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to go over here real quick. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, that one's Realtor.com. I want to show you real quick on Zillow a little trick before you go over to Zillow. You need to really pay attention to this because it could really put a damper on trying to update this profile. So you're going to go to Zillow.com, and then up here on the upper right, you'll see sign in or join. If you have not ever created an account, I want you to watch real quick. You're going to go here to new account. When you set up this new account, make sure that you check this box that you're a landlord or an industry professional. If you do not, you're creating an account as a consumer, and Zillow, we have a really tough time. They don't connect your consumer account and your agent account. So what you're going to do is you're going to lock yourself out of being able to update your profile. So I'm going to repeat that. Do not set up an account without clicking this box that you're a landlord or an industry professional, and you're going to put your, in this drop down real estate agent broker, you're going to put first name, last name, and your cell phone number. That's if you've never logged into Zillow. If you've logged into Zillow, you're just going to sign in using whatever email address is associated with your industry account. Okay, we don't want to be logged in on the consumer side. We want to be logged into the agent hub. So if you have, I have 2 different Zillow accounts. This one I use, this is my consumer account. My account associated with Kansas City Homes is my agent account. I want to make sure I'm logged into my agent account here. So I'm going to hit sign in. And I am going to go back over real quick to our a non-incognito. I am working on a pretty detailed workbook for you right now that will walk you through how to do all of this. Again, I am recording this, so you're going to be able to go back later and watch this again and go through these steps. So I'm logged in now, and I'm logged in on the agent side. How I can tell I'm logged in on the agent side is right up here, I've got Agent Hub. So I'm going to just hover my mouse over Agent Hub, and I get all sorts of options here. I'm going to click on Profile. And this takes me to my profile. So a couple navigation here things for you as you get in here. This is where you're going to branch off and start updating your profile. What I want you to do first is click View Public Profile right up here. And I want you to see what your profile looks like. What information is missing? Do you have an About Me section? You don't want to make, this is just kind of a rule of thumb for all of these websites, make your About Me section fairly short and sweet. You don't want it to be, you know, a 1,500 word essay. I don't want, when I hit more, I don't want a potential client to have to scroll and scroll and scroll to find out all of this other information. Down here, it'll show you your listings and sales. So you're going to be able to see if anything is missing here. And down here, I've got some that I need to go in here and update. But this is going to show, again, I'm looking at my public. What does a consumer see if they go and Google me and click on Zillow? Down here, I've got some ratings and reviews. Some of these are, a lot of these are old. I haven't used Zillow for ratings and reviews in a long time, but they'll live here forever, which is kind of nice. I know a lot of us are used to using Real Satisfied. I would highly recommend, you know, maybe on your next couple closings, get a couple of ratings and reviews in Zillow. It doesn't matter if you only have 2 or 3 of them. Get some ratings and reviews in here. That way, when a client pulls you up here, they're seeing this star rating that I have. They have no idea that those are from 2014, but they at least see that I've got some reviews. When people are online looking for a real estate agent, they don't necessarily pay attention to what you write here in the About Me. What they want to see is your ratings and reviews. What do consumers, what do other clients think about working with you? That's the information that they want. Make it readily available for them. You can send requests to get reviews from some past clients. So if you've had somebody that's maybe they've closed in the last year, and now is a great time to send them an email, and I'm going to show you how you do that, to get them to input a review for you on Zillow. It doesn't even have to be somebody that has closed on a house with you, buyer or seller. You could send it to vendors. I don't suggest doing this, but you could send it to your kids, your mom, family members. You're not able, Amy just asked a great question. You're not able to use Real Satisfied for Zillow. So Zillow is a silo. Everything that lives in Zillow stays in Zillow. You can't put outside stuff into Zillow and can't take stuff out of Zillow and put it outside. I call it the silo. So what you can do on Zillow, this is what I've done with my profile. I'm going to show you how to do this. Is right here, I have see what Christian's clients are saying about her. Mary, I will walk you through that, how to get rid of an old review. I don't know that you can, but I will try to help you through that later. So right here, I've got the first thing in my bio is see what Christian's clients are saying about her. If they click here, they're going to my Real Satisfied. I'm going to show you how you do that in your bio. It's really easy to do it. But this is a way, if you don't have ratings and reviews in Zillow and you want to link to your Real Satisfied, that's a great way to do it. Mary, I'll have to help you after let me finish going through this, and then I'll help you with your setting up your account. Okay, so let's go back into Zillow. So first thing, again, I want you to do is view your public profile. And then to get back to edit, we're going to click right up here and I'm going to hit edit profile. So it takes me back to this screen, which should look familiar. Right here, we're going to click on edit. And I can either do my profile, which is all of the gory details. I want you to be updating that. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Or you can do your About Me section. Let's look at the About Me for just a minute. When you click on that edit and then About Me, it's going to pull this up. I do have a little workbook or slides for you walking you through how to do this. So you can take and copy and paste your bio from another website and just paste it right into this text box. So to create that link, that Real Satisfied link, I highlight what I want to link. So I want this right here to link to Real Satisfied. So I'm going to highlight that. Right up here, I'm hitting Insert Link. This is the text that's going to display. So if I want this to say something else, link to, oh, I don't know what I just did there. Hold on. Go back here. Why it keeps doing that to me? My mouse is going crazy. Okay, let's just do this. Do a new one. Insert link. Text I want to display is link to Real Satisfied. I need to go over to Real Satisfied and find, move this out of the way, find where I want to link. Log in. I want to click my profile. I'm going through this fast, I know. I'm just trying to find the link. Oh. Stop doing that. How do I look? Oh, there it is, right up here at the top, profile page. This is what I want it to link to. So I'm going to take this URL, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it right there and hit save. Again, I've got a step-by-step for you on this. And there it is right there, my link to Real Satisfied. So if you want to link to your kansascityhomes.com, that's what I have linked down here. Learn more about Christian. Let me save this. And this links out of Zillow and puts them right onto my website. So yeah, it is a great way to infiltrate their little silo. The only negative about that, linking out to Real Satisfied, I still recommend that you get a couple ratings, reviews in Zillow. Otherwise, you're gonna have a big 0 up here and no stars. Most consumers are used to, when they're on these big websites, you know, the Realtor.coms, the Zillows, they're used to seeing, you know, the stars and they're used to reading them there. So you want to have at least a couple there so it doesn't look like you have no ratings, no reviews anywhere. Okay, so that's updating your About Me section. So again, first thing that you're going to do on Zillow is you're going to go and view your public profile, make some notes as to what's missing. What does it look like? Does it portray the image you want it to? Next thing you're going to do is click on this edit and do your About Me, which is what we just did. And then the last thing that I want you to do is go in, this takes some time. If you've never gone in and updated it, you're going to go in here and you're going to update your gory details that show up on your public page. This is why I want you to go look at your public page first so you can see where this stuff shows up. That way you can kind of get a gauge as to what do I need to focus on here. It will ask for your license numbers. You can put, I just have one state in here, or no, I'm sorry, I've got both of mine in here. But you do need to put in your license numbers. I will give you a little tip. when you put in your Kansas number, if you have a salesperson license, the first two characters of your license number or an SP, take that out. Just put the numbers in. Just put your numbers in. There are links on BHGenius KCH under continuing education to KREC and MREC. It's really easy to go there and look up your license numbers if you don't have those and your expiration dates. Service areas, from here you can put in, this is kind of an open field. You can put whatever you want to into this. You can always click as you're entering, you can always click, it's really hard to see there, but you click this add more, and you can add more service areas. I do think that they limit you. I think I'm at my limit. That's why I can't hit that add more. Let me take one out. Oh, maybe not. If you speak, if you're fluent in another language, I put that in there. You've got all these specialties. Down here, you've got the ability to link out to the website, your website. I have a vanity URL, and this directs to kansascityhomes.com. I recommend putting in whatever you use as your primary website for buyers and sellers both. That's what I would put into here. So if it's Kansas City Homes, put in your Kansas City Homes website address. Typically, like mine, my not vanity URL one is just christian.kansascityhomes.com. So you'll have to look up yours and see what yours is. If you have a blog somewhere or you know, somewhere where you're posting information, etc., you can put that link here. Facebook, I don't have a business page, so I link to my public page, or I link to my personal. If you do have a business page, you want to put, I recommend putting your business page in there, Twitter, and then LinkedIn. Once you have all of this updated, don't forget to come down here and hit submit. If you do not hit submit, none of it will save. Once you do it, go back and look at that public profile again and make sure it looks good. Okay, requesting reviews, that's right here, request review. You can enter as many email addresses as you want to here. So if you want to try to send this out to maybe everybody that you did a transaction with in the last 12 months, you can do that right here. You can customize a message that goes to them. If it's somebody from the past, I would tell them that you're trying to update your online profiles and, you know, greatly appreciate them doing one in Real Satisfied. Would they please take a minute and do one in Zillow? The Zillow ones are not very long. Real Satisfied takes people about 20 minutes to complete those. The Zillow one's pretty short and sweet. So here you can check a box that you indicate whether this person is a past client. Emily, going back to your question about does a review automatically link you to a sale? If you click this and they put in their property address, it very well could then tie in. I don't know that for sure, but I'm guessing that that might be how you tie in your past sales to reviews. If you don't want to send it out of the Zillow platform, if you want to just send it out of your Gmail, right here, send the client a direct link. If I click on this, it'll give me a direct link. This is unique to me, and I can copy this. I highlight it, I'm going to copy it, and I can go over to my email and say, hey, Jane, please give me a review on Zillow, and just send her a link. So two different ways you can send out and get requests for reviews. Again, on Zillow, it doesn't necessarily have to be a past client. It could be anyone, but highly recommend you get a couple of them. Okay, let's look real quick at how, I'm gonna pause. Questions so far. The next thing I'm gonna show you with is how to do is how to add your listings, or how to add, not listings, excuse me, your past sales. Any questions on what I have covered so far? Okay. Mary, that is a total personal choice being a Premier Agent on Zillow. Premier Agents do get some special treatment with Zillow. You know, there's some things that you can do on Zillow as a Premier Agent that you can't do. For instance, if you have a upcoming listing that you have with the new listing agreement, if you're going to put something into pre-MLS, you cannot on Zillow put that in. If you're a Premier Agent, you can put in a coming soon. There's a couple other things that you can do on Zillow as a Premier Agent. You can edit your listing and you can input your own listing. And Zillow changed their rules a couple, it might have been a year ago. We used to, as any agent could go in and put their own listings on Zillow. You can't do that anymore. It's either your company feeds or it doesn't. Luckily our company feeds, so our listings are showing up on Zillow, but I can't go in and edit. I'm kind of bound to the feed. If you're a Premier Agent, you can go in and edit some details, update pictures. You've got some more customization options. Most Premier Agents, to become a Premier Agent, it means that you're buying zip codes. So again, that's a personal business choice as to whether you see the value in your business in doing that. Okay. Rosemary, you can't add your pre-MLS listings into Zillow if you're not a Premier Agent. I highly recommend, you know, if you've got, you have to enter them into pre-MLS now. If you have a signed listing agreement and a future market date, they go into pre-MLS. The pre-MLS status does not feed out anywhere. That is an internal, you can only see those when you're logged in as an agent into MLS. So those don't get fed out. They're not allowed to get fed out. But you cannot input them individually onto Zillow unless you are a Premier Agent. Whose IT had a coming soon button? Let me see if I can go back and look. Do you remember what page I was on when you saw that? Typically, you can't do that unless you are a Premier Agent. And if I click on it, it'll tell you that you have to become a Premier Agent. You might try it. If last time I was in here, if you clicked on it, it told you you had to pay for, you had to be a Premier Agent. But if you have access to it without paying for it, then by all means do it. So let's go look at how to add your past sales. So I'm going to click up here on my picture. This is another way when you're on the website, if you get stuck and can't figure out how to get back somewhere, click on your picture, the drop down up here, and you can go to your profile. You'll come right to this page that I'm on if you click this first one. The second one is past sales. So we're going to go into past sales. And this is going to give us our sales history. We can update, we can edit this, and we can delete it if we don't want this showing up as a past sale. If it was, you know, something that is outside of your normal service area, you really don't want to advertise that you sold it, you can delete it here. On the, Emily, you were asking earlier if you can upload or do a mass ad. You can do that by clicking right here. It is going to give you a template. If you click on this, it's going to download an Excel spreadsheet for you. And then you email that Excel spreadsheet to the past sales uploads at Zillow.com. That does take a while. It takes quite a while to do that. So if I need to add a past sale, I'm trying to think, what was their address? I've got one that I need to add in here. I'll go into Dotloop and get it. We'll do this one, 4814. So this was my listing. Even though it was my listing, it was on Zillow as my listing, it's not showing up in my history. So I'm going to walk you through how to add this. I'm going to hit add sale. So it's going to find this sale. If it doesn't have a photo, it's going to give you an aerial here. You can pick your sold date. Which one? There it is, 12/4. Okay. You pick when you sold it. You can input the price. I do not input price. I leave price blank. Zillow's great, but I don't want to give them more information than they need. I want to get credit for the sale. They don't need the price. I represented the seller. If you represented both, buyer, I represented seller in this one. I'm going to hit add to profile. You have to certify it, add to profile. So that one is now added. You can keep on adding. You just type in the address. Or again, you can do the spreadsheet. You can send them a spreadsheet, but it takes a while for them to get those. Any questions on adding your past sales? I know I went through that pretty fast. It's pretty easy to do. Would I recommend more than a year back? I would. If you go back and look at your public profile, it is going to say how many past sales you had all time. So if, like, I don't have all of mine in here, but if I only go back a year, and a buyer is, you know, a potential buyer is researching me and they look on Zillow, they're going to look at this and say, well, she's only been selling for a year, or, you know, you're going to see 20 all time. I want to go back as far as I can. That is correct. Let's see. Josh said, yeah, I agree with you, Josh. He made the comment that he really likes being able to add the sales to Zillow and not add the price. And you're right on, Josh. The reason that I don't add the price is because the more we add sales prices, the more accurate Zillow gets and the more data that we're just feeding and giving them. And I would prefer not to compete with them. It does maintain, yeah, you're absolutely right. It maintains the integrity of MLS and the data that we have. Plus, you've got, you know, in Kansas and Missouri, we are non-disclosure states. So if you put a sales price in there, all of a sudden Zillow is going to publish that, and your seller, your buyer could get pretty ticked off at you that you've now published their what they bought their house for on Zillow. Okay, questions on Zillow? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you 15 minutes. If you're on full screen right now with this, hit escape. I want you to log into Zillow and see if you can navigate and find where you update your profile. I want you to navigate to that. I want you to view your public profile, and then we'll get back together. This will give you an opportunity to do this while I'm here. I can help you navigate through some issues if you're having issues logging in. You know, I can help get you to the right spot in Zillow to update your profile. So I'll give you about 15 minutes to do that. I'll still be here, and then at 10:30 we will resume, and we're going to go over to realtor.com and look at that, updating that site. Feel free, if you have questions while you're doing this, just unmute yourself and ask, or type it into the chat. I'll be watching the chat here. Make sure if you're logging into Zillow for the first time, you check that box that you're a landlord or an industry professional.